We're starting a two-part lesson on equations of lines. This is part one. So in our previous lesson about lines, we learned how to calculate the slope of a line from the graph. Now what we're going to learn is to calculate slope given two ordered pairs that are on a line. And then we'll also learn to write the equation of a line in slope-intercept form given the slope and the y-intercept. So recall slope. Slope is the steepness of a line. So if you're given 2 points, let's say x1, y1 are two ordered pairs, and x2, y2, you can calculate the slope by calculating the change in y divided by the change in x. So here's what it looks like as a formula. Or y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So you take the difference of the y values divided by the difference of the x values. You just have to subtract in the same order for both. Okay, so let's go through an example. Find the slope of the line from the pair of points. So we have 6, 7 and negative 2, 4. One thing I want to mention is it's really important that your ordered pairs have parentheses around them. If there's no parentheses, then it's not an ordered pair. Okay, so using our formula, I'm going to just label this as x1, y1 and x2, y2. And for this first one, I'll calculate both ways so you can see either way to use the formula. Okay, so for the first way, we're going to take y1 minus y2 over x1 minus x2. Okay, so y1 minus y2 is 7 minus 4 over x1 minus x2 is 6 minus, the minus is part of the formula or taking the difference, and then we have negative 2. 7 minus 4 is 3, 6 minus a negative 2 is 8. Okay, calculating it the other way, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So going this way, y2 minus y1 is 4 minus 7. x2 is negative 2 minus 6. This would give us negative 3 over negative 8, which simplifies to 3 over 8. Okay, the biggest thing is to be consistent. So if you do the first one, subtracted the second, you would have to go in that direction or that order for the x values as well. Example 2, find the slope of the line from the pair of points. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing. x1, y1, x2, y2. Okay, and I'm going to do y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So this gives us negative 3 minus 1 divided by 4 minus 2. Simplify negative 4 over 2, which is just negative 2. All right, find the slope of the line from the pair of points. And I put a graph here because this one also helps to have a good visual. So 7, negative 2 and 7, 4. So again, labeling it as x1, y1, x2, y2. And my slope is change in y over change in x. So this time I'm going to start by doing y1 minus y2 over x1 minus x2. This gives us negative 6 over 0. Any number divided by 0, undefined slope here. Okay, and so if you plot the points 7, negative 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, negative 2, and 7, 4, you can see that this is a vertical line, and vertical lines have undefined slope. Example 4, we'll keep going, so I'm going to label my points as x1, y1 and x2, y2. Okay, subtracting negative 2, So y1 minus y2 is negative 2 minus negative 2 over negative 4 minus 7. This is 0 over negative 11. 0 divided by any number except 0 is just 0. So this should be a horizontal line, and we can plot the points to prove that. So negative 4, negative 2, and 7. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Negative 2. Okay, so that's a horizontal line which have a slope of 0. Okay, next, we're going to talk about writing equation of lines. There's 2 different topics we'll go over. So the first is given the slope and the y-intercept, and the second is we'll be given a graph and we'll be able to find the slope and the y-intercept will be there, and then we can form our equation. Remember that we're writing it in slope-intercept form, which is in the form y equals mx plus b. Okay, so example 1, write the equation in slope-intercept form of the line satisfying the following. So in part A, we're given m is 3 and b is negative 1. I'm going to write y equals mx plus b at the top. So we're filling in m and b and then simplifying. So this one would be y is equal to, Let me just erase this. So y is equal to 3x, and then you could do plus -1 or -1. Okay, so this would be 3x minus 1. Double check. Slope is 3, y-intercept is -1. It satisfies what we were given. Okay, same thing here. So this is my m. So this is the number that will go in front of x, and this is what will be added. So this would be y is -2/7x plus 3/2. When you're asked to write an equation of a line, remember equations have equal signs. So your equation should say y equals. The slope has the x, okay? And then the y-intercept is the constant that's being added. For part C, m is 0 and b is 2. So this is y is 0, x plus 2. 0 times x is just 0. This is an equation of a horizontal line, y equals 2. Let me box these answers. Okay. Next, find the slope and the y-intercept of the graph of the linear equation. Write the equation of the line in slope-intercept form. Okay, so what we have is a graph, and I'll zoom it in. We'll find the slope, we'll find the y-intercept from the graph, and then we'll be able to use that to form the equation of the line in slope-intercept form. So I'm going to zoom in. There's a couple ways you can find slope here. The first is to do what we did in a previous lesson where you just do change in y over change in x, counting the units in between points. So if we do that, we would go down 1, 2, and over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so my slope here would be -2/5. Okay, the other way you could do it is to get the coordinates of the ordered pair and then use the formula that we just talked about. So if you go that way, this would be 0, -1. This is 5, -3. And now you could do m is equal to -3 minus -1 over 5 minus 0, which still gets you -2/5. Okay, and then the y-intercept is where the line crosses the y-axis. So here's my, oops, it should have changed colors. Here's my y-intercept. B equals -1. Okay, so putting that all together then, the slope is -2/5. The y-intercept is -1. So my equation then is y equals, very important, -2 x minus 1. Example 3, find the slope and the y-intercept, and then we'll do the same where we'll use it to write the equation of the line in slope-intercept form. Okay, so the slope here, it's a horizontal line. So my slope is 0. You could also try to do rise over run, or you could pick two ordered pairs that are on the line and calculate slope that way. The y-intercept is right here, 1, 2, 3. B is equal to 3, so my equation, or just y equals 3. Okay. Next, write an equation for the graph shown below. So we're given 2 points here, and we still need to find the slope and the y-intercept. So even if a problem is framed this way, that doesn't say find the slope, find the y-intercept, write the equation. If you're asked to write the equation, most likely you do need the slope and the y-intercept. So I'm going to zoom in. So to find the slope, I'm going to do rise over run. So up 2 over 1. So my slope is 2 over 1, or just 2. And my y-intercept is right here. B is equal to 1, so I can put those together to form the equation y is equal to 2x plus 1. Okay, for the equation 5y plus 4x equals 20, we're going to do a few things with this one. We're going to write the equation in slope-intercept form. We're going to identify the slope, identify the y-intercept, and then use that to help us graph the line. Okay, so the equation is in standard form. Again, standard form is ax plus by equals c. So if we're writing it in slope-intercept form, this means that we're writing it in the form of y equals mx plus b, where the equation is solved for y. So I'm going to rewrite it. Okay, and then we're going to solve for y. So we subtract 4x from both sides to get 5y is equal to -4x plus 20. And then to get y by itself, we divide each term by 5 to get y is equal to -4/5x plus 4. So this is the equation in slope-intercept form. The slope is the number in front of x, so -4/5. The y-intercept is the plus b, or 0, 4. And then to graph the line, we start at 0, 4. And then we use the slope to get the next point. So we go down 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, to the right 5. Okay, and the slope is negative, so we should expect for this line to go down. Thank you for watching. We'll continue part 2 in the next lesson.